DNS going to pick second.
This is smart. I like to see that Odin and Gung are trying to keep the players in high spirits here. The deeper you go into Fearless, counter pick matters a lot, especially since, you know, some of those big first picks are gone. And having counter pick when the compositions get a little bit more wonky can sometimes just be enough to get you an early lead. Please no dive draft this time. Please something with some longevity. Trust these players. Pioshik won it late yesterday on the Fury, but I still don't think I want to see the Fury here. Because DNS have been a team that surprisingly have had decent macro, have had some late game plays with Duckdom. They get out of the early lane pretty well. Peter and Duckdom are great in the bottom lane. Closer's a very strong laner. Dudu, obviously, it's his year, right?
It is.
But I've been left feeling a little bit robbed in this series as D+ are just looking like the better team.
Yeah,
they also have the better tools.
Ooh, Yorick ban. Yeah, the fight between the year of Dudu and the year of Vikla. You know, I thought it was said and done. Like I thought Dudu had won it, and he had won it for good. And I'm like, yes, okay, it's definitely the year of Dudu. And then B&K beat T1, and then we're like, oh, I guess it's not the year of Dudu anymore. Kennen also going to be banned away because the Yorick gets banned, and the Yorick we've seen have a lot of fun.
It can be multiple people's years, by the way, at the same time.
No.
Yes, it can.
That's not the way this works.
Well, it's the year of the horse. Does that mean Team Liquid wins Worlds?
I don't
know.
That's totally separate.
I don't know.
From this.
Ahri ban, which I think is doing us a favor. No more dive comps.
I mean, at least
Novi.
At least Ahri can do a little bit of both, and you know, Closer is very good at the champ. I think it's okay. Very importantly, though, a lot of OP stuff is being left up. Pantheon, Varus.
And Varus, and also really important. I like this ban. If you get the Varus, it looks like it's a Renekton angle here for Dudu with the Kennen ban that we see here. With Gnar available, though, it is pretty risky. Maybe, in fact, he goes for the other side of things and tries to play the Gnar. We've thinned out the mid pool a little bit. Orianna's banned. They take the Aurora over the Varus, which I find to be a little bit surprising. Especially because you don't have to pick Aurora necessarily this early. As we know what Peter wants to play when we see these lock-ins.
Yeah.
It's Rakan.
Talia banned because of Fearless. Notably,
this is a classic combo.
Yunara just nowhere to be seen.
A little scary to play in the Varus with a Wukong alongside. So I still think viable here. It also feels really good when you're up 2-0 in the series to fearlessly ban it here as well.
And Smash playing the way he is, where they're protecting him really well. Lee Sin going to be the choice instead of Nocturne.
Well, it definitely means that there's not an equal power level pre-6 between these two champions, like it was looking like it was going to be with a Nocturne lock-in. Or both these champions operate post-ultimate. Showmaker just looking for the blind LeBlanc, perhaps teasing all of us, but if there's one player who I trust to do it, it would be him.
You should keep your Aurora flex for as long as possible, especially because the Aurora can do very well into a lot of blind picks in the top lane.
Careers Bard was not one of our favorite picks for him thus far. You mentioned it in game 1. It is going to be a 80 carryless Bard lane. They're just saying we're going for range damage to deal with your Varus.
Is it Lee Sin Bard in the bot lane? No 80 carry?
I don't think so.
80 carryless? All right, what are we playing, Closer?
Or what are we playing, Dudu? It feels obvious to pick Rakan here. It doesn't matter if you're playing into the Bard, you have the Varus, you have the Wukong for, you know, great engages and follow-ups later on. Sivir feels so obvious here.
Yeah, also, you know, they have the flex Aurora, and you have last pick because you picked second pick, so you might as well just try to save your solo lanes for later.
I do think that Xayah would be a terrible choice. Super low range, and the Varus is going to outpoke you in team fights, and your ultimate, there's just already with these two champions alone too much to fly above. The Cyclone will persist. Bit of a interesting ban here on Closer's Akali, as Closer does feel like he's decided he's going to play what he wants to play in this series and not necessarily adhere to the tier list as much.
Should play Lissandra.
Now the, I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good angle for it. But with the Gnar band and the Kennen band, surely it's a Renekton band here. Surely.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting a lot of value with that. Unless they are confident to flex the Aurora into it, they're just going to take away the Victor.
Closer's like, I hate playing Victor.
I was never going to play that.
Odin's like, damn it. I was trying to get Closer to play Victor. Well, it's a smart ban, I think, for the comp. Although if you're a Closer enjoyer, you've been a Closer enjoyer since his time as a trainee on T1. Probably not feeling too worried about that one. Do see the Jhin Bard setup here with the Aurora.
Like, that's not my champion.
I still think this lane is going to do fine. The question becomes, is it Aurora into Renekton for insane spacing, or what is Xiu gonna lock up here? Is he just gonna go Scion? I really hope not.
Might just be on tank duty looking at this team.
If you go Scion, there's a lot of early game power here in this DNS draft. He's going Aurora.
They're just gonna flex it. It's a very slippery, high damage composition here from D+Kia.
Do we like the Lissandra?
Very difficult to play.
Or do we just go Galio, I suppose?
I mean, Lissandra definitely would have been a bit more damage. Galio is certainly wombo combo plus safety.
It is going to be Pioshik Peter tested like they have been tested many times before this tournament with this draft, because the engage has to be crisp. The Jhin is immobile, but there's a lot you're going to have to go through, and if you lose control of this map in the mid-game, Showmaker will find you, he will kill you. Your Rakan is not safe, your Galio is not safe, your Wukong is not safe.
Celestial opposition game.
It is an unreal amount of fear you're going to have, because also, Jhin can follow up on this Lee Sin, on this LeBlanc from anywhere. You cannot lose map control. So even though this isn't the same type of all-in draft or early game draft here in this third game for BNK, and it plays a lot more around the VAR as well in the late game, it kind of feels to me like it's a similar vein. It's a different angle, but if you lose early, you lose late into this draft here for D+. And with the Renekton setup, the Wukong and the Rakan, they do have the tools to kill the Jhin. But what about everything else? What about the Bard ultimate, the Tempered Fate that could ruin everything you're trying to do? Jhin being so far away and Showmaker's flank angles, you better hope you got good vision and you don't ever let it go.
We'll have to see if they can manage it, or if D+Kia go on to another sweep here in game number 3.
Got him.
GG. Game number 3 started, and Showmaker already makes his intentions very clear. He is going to attack the enemy champions, and probably also the enemy minions. Perhaps some objectives along the way. But yeah,
they hit a ward or two.
Yeah, true. This comp for D+Kia, at least this time around, I feel like it's the most difficult comp they've had to play. You know, like I feel like the first couple of games they've played, it's been like, okay, we have scaling, we have comfort, we just wait, and we just play better League of Legends and team fight, and we just eventually win comfortably. This time around, doesn't feel like they have all of those outs. They can absolutely go, you know, crazy style and just outplay DNS and win early, late.
Yeah, no,
early, mid, and late.
Allow me to blur the lines a little bit, kind of like the D+ player names.
Okay.
And while I do agree with you, she was playing Aurora. Pentakill on this champion. Lucid is playing Lee Sin. Showmaker, LeBlanc, sounds like comfort to me, all right? That sounds like one of his favorite and best of all time. And yeah, Smash, take it or leave it on the Jhin. He's played a few decent games of this pick. I'd say
Career?
Smash and Career, the two that are not comfort on this one.
Yeah.
But
the two young guys kind of being forced to play the setup lane.
I do think that when you look at the top side here, it doesn't get more D+ than this. So I think the execution should be there. The Bard is the part that makes me a little bit more nervous. And like you said, Smash on the Jhin, you know, it's not bad at this champion. It's just not necessarily the Smash type of playstyle that we've come to know and love.
It's not Ezreal. It's not Zeri. And Luce is playing Lee Sin. This has a undefeated streak going. 4 of the games has been Pioshik. One of them has been Lucid, so not his first time playing it here at the LCK Cup, and certainly knows how to get the value out of it.
I think it was Raptor who denied it from Pioshik in that win that he had. On his way to the upper bracket.
Pioshik gonna find a friend who's not very friendly.
Otherwise known as an enemy.
Yeah.
A non-allied combatant. And he's a level 3 Wukong, so he's not looking to have a lot of ganking power, but I don't think that Lucid really wants to fight with him 1v1 over the Scuttle, so we'll go to him. In this bottom lane, you layer as much poke as you can as the Varus, but your Rakan isn't going to necessarily be able to get his sustained value when you're laying into the Bard. Bard is ranged. Very annoying. Because Rakan is, like, you know, ambiguous about whether he's ranged or melee. Sejuani says melee.
He is ranged, technically. But, yeah. He's also got some ranged... He has one ranged ability.
It's like Thresh, you know, it's just a little ambiguous. It's like it's a melee
also
attack,
ranged.
It's like a melee attack, though.
It's a melee weapon, but it has very long range.
Yeah.
You know? Exactly. It's a nice little punch from Closer. He's in another one of these lanes where he's playing melee into a very annoying ranged champion.
Closer has definitely pulled out the confidence in these picks today, where he is just simply not going to back down and playing against one of our really strong laning mid laners in Showmaker is always a tough ask, but he was able to weather the storm in game 2. Here, debatable thus far at a small CS deficit, but not going to lose anything too big here. Both mid laners have already TP'd. He's going to take a reset now. Start to get some of that MR online. It's no Magic Mantle. This is unfortunate for Dudu. You know, he wanted to play the Renekton, he banned the Gnar, they banned the Kennen, and she was just like, I'm playing Aurora, lol.
I mean, that was always available. They first picked Aurora. It was like, well, they can flex it. And he's like, well, I'm going to play Renekton anyway. And I do think that Renekton is generally okay, as long as you're not playing into, you know, Kennen or Gnar. The Aurora, I think, can certainly get punished, especially if Pioshik eventually does go up to the top side.
Okay, now they have a lot of bot prio, and Lucid is Lee Sin, so he's like, Wukong is not going to make the same impact I am. Might even find an angle here. Instead, just going to interact with Pioshik.
Yeah. Got the clone. And Pioshik not even going to smite that, actually.
The Maker gets taunted, but the chain will keep Closer at bay. Pretty quiet early game.
Yeah.
Very silent GGG Global Park as we move through this one.
Yeah, really, it's just 400 gold lead in the top lane, and that is about it. A lot of trading down on the bottom side. Also, our junglers are fighting in the river, and Career's going to have to flash once again here early on in the trading.
Yeah, and the heal is not worthless either, getting a little bit of health back. And we'll continue to put that pressure on now with the flashless Bard. The pressure may turn here on the bottom side.
Scuttle, very
Pioshik?
important.
He is not going to be able to get 6 off this, I don't think. It is very close.
We're still going to essentially go all in for it as the binding not going to hit. There's the Galio. Career does not have flash, but he does have a magical journey. Closer says, we are killing this guy. If it's the last thing I do, is Peter picks up the kill.
He has been quite bloodthirsty this season, and he will pick up the kill, but because of the way this eventuated, they're not able to turn into a Drake right away. So the fact that he killed that or got the kill there is actually pretty significant in terms of where the gold goes, because that's all they get. They deny the dragon. They got the Scuttle Crab, but could have been better. Closer is going to be fine here, but level 6 is now going to be on the cards for Pioshik as he clears this top side. Red buff. And the Renekton is still 500 gold behind, but it almost feels that's the limit here. Watch this fight one more time. It's a little bit broken up, but when you look at how D+ want to play this, they just don't have any damage threats and Smash on the wrong side of the fight. So it's really easy for Peter to set the engage, and he has a Galio to follow up, and because there's no flash here for Career, he just dies. Showmaker is like, there's too many, I'm too low, I can't actually save you here. If he's playing a different champion that has a little bit more CC, You know, maybe he could try to peel there and offer some damage, even at low health, but he's not going to distort his way into a second death for D+. Makes the right call, and Career's early flash loss comes back to bite him. However, it's a Rakan with a 600 gold lead, so I don't know how much it really matters. Because they still didn't get Dragon.
Yeah. You know, early first item for the support. Maybe you can get some more control wards, etc. But you're not getting your carries very far ahead. You would have loved to have that kill probably on the Wukong. I think he might have hit level 6 as well, but he's level 6 now, and I'm curious about where he's going to send that first ult. We got to see some of the synergy that DNS has in their composition, which is quite simple. You know, it can lack damage at times, but the wombo combo nature of it can blow up a target regardless, where you've got Wukong and Rakan, obviously, but then the Galio on top of it for even just that extra safety and follow-up CC.
You really do have to go incredibly deep later on, though, if D+ have a setup. And they didn't really have one there because Smash was cut off from the rest of the team. And so they kind of get a freebie there, so to speak. Also, Career not having Flash. So I kind of look at this game state and feel like, okay, DNS, they got step 1. Well, we need to see the Dragon. And now we're going to look for that fight here. They are still without their Galio ultimate. So this is a really tough one to play out until that's ready here for closer in a few seconds. 8 on the clock.
Pyosik is all about these Scuttle Crabs. He's been playing for every single one big time. Same for Lucid as well. Just that Pyosik has been here a little bit earlier. He's been able to get position. He's also had more help from his bottom lane, which obviously does help, as Dudu just going to Dominus here to clear the wave and survive. But the damage comes in. The flash forward is going to force Dudu to flash away. Nice pressure here from Xiu. As now Showmaker does come over, tries to punish as in goes Lucid. Just going to get goldened up here as the Galio does make his way in. Lucid has to flash out.
Feels kind of favorable here for DNS, as Dudu also has TP. He's going to use it to go back to the top lane, interestingly, which gives a ton of agency to Xiu if they wanted to continue this play on the bottom side. Lucid flashless, and DNS are going to take their opportunity here to look for Dragon. Showmaker going to back, a little bit low on mana, and will TP into the pit. They're going for this.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, just going to have to try to get the Drake and get out, it looks like. Lucid is in here, but the smite is good from Pyosik. Cycloning just to try to get away. The disengage code comes in, and Lucid gets punished for it. And now Closer able to bully Showmaker out of position. They want more. As, you know, with the TP coming in, looks like it got interrupted somehow, and now Career is in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to flash, but the follow-up is there and should be very easy. A kill goes over to Pyosik, and this time DNS, a very solid early lead going their way.
Yeah, last time when they got the kill onto Career, it felt like a minuscule, almost fake lead. But this time they get not only the Dragon, but the follow-up win in the team fight. As I think you're right, I think Dudu did interrupt the TP. And so that was the advantage that they had when Dudu decided to TP top lane, because he was in base. And it would have been a very heavy cost had he TP'd into the fight and made a low impact, and then the Aurora was given extra agency. So watch this fight again. Showmaker backed, and actually...
Oh, Showmaker's TP.
Yeah, Showmaker's TP. It's actually Xiu just TP to the top lane.
Yeah.
I was looking at this fight here, looking at Smash trying to enter on low mana. Closer is blocking Showmaker's entry here. Lucid gets trolled by the Blast Cone, which is really unfortunate.
That's one of the most troll Blast Cones I've ever seen.
There's no way for him to really, you know, outplay that, I guess. I mean, could have just not made the aggressive play in the first place, but you need to win something on this fight.
Yeah.
Career?
Looks like someone was going for a little ward walk. And unfortunately, the Bard continues to be an issue here for Career. Now Dudu going in onto Xiu, just trying to bully him as much as possible with the Dominus.
The flash trade earlier, I think, kind of favors Dudu a little bit, allows him to make plays like this. And he's not going to kill the Aurora, but he's not going to be killed by the Aurora either, and can close the gap with his Dominus when he has Fury on those minions and play around it a little bit there with waves like that. As the Ghost Blade is done for Duck Dom and for Smash. We don't know what soul it's going to be just yet in this game, but it's a very late first Dragon. And Career here is on a ward.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
He's like, I have Magical Journey, I'm fine. They can't take that. Oh, wait, Showmaker, you told me they can take that? Oh yeah, they did take it last time I died as well. In the
When he
dragon
was
fight.
in there, like, warding and stuff, I was already like, oh no, that's too deep. Oh, I can see how he gets caught. And then he blast cones over the wall into them.
Not a good day for blast cone haters, eh, Valdez?
Yeah, I mean, at least the one on the bottom side was funny. Also, this one from Career was just a big mistake. Like, he was trying to be a proactive blast coner. He was trying to win my heart, but instead kind of did the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a Bard issue. We talked about his Bard play leaving us a little bit underwhelmed. He is 0-3 right now, but I feel like some of those stuff could happen with any support. His closer may have to flash.
Yeah, closer is going to just flash away from that one. At least avoided the first set of chains, but
Ooh, Pyoshik.
this is the potential punish. When you have a
Flashless
Renekton
Aurora.
in the lane. He's got Between Worlds, but can it get away from them? As Pyoshik's going to go in, there's the Cyclone. The Between Worlds does come out as Pyoshik once more going to dodge the Sonic Wave. Continuing to fight as Dudu went back to the wave. But now we got a Galio coming in. And Showmaker is here as well. As they're going in, they got TP. A very wonky back and forth fight.
It's TP from Duck Dom. And they're just going to say, well, that's how we secure grubs. That was the plan all along.
We just wanted the grubs. Peter just going to flash and miss everything. Very nice kick does come in. And Tempered Fate, not going to do all too much. Kind of just delays DNS and Duck Dom in a rough spot. That's a nice pick. Going over to Showmaker as now Closer in a rough spot himself, waiting for that Sonic Wave to come in as... yeah, kind of just living inside the wall there. Not sure what happened. Maybe got bound up.
Yeah, got a little funky there, but coordination a little bit missing on this one for DNS. It doesn't hurt all too bad, but Duck Dom loses his flash, he dies. Doesn't have his TP, which isn't always the biggest deal on an AD carry, but D+ gets so much map control over this. They get a plate top side, Showmaker's getting a plate bottom side.
Showmaker got the kill as well.
And like, this here should have been fine, but due to misreads where she was going, not expecting the rotation up, I think if he just goes down right away, he has Empowered W, and he clears this wave. So he doesn't actually have his Empowered W for Lucid here, so he's just kind of like, Renekton, no buttons.
And Closer goes back in.
Yeah, Closer goes back in as they're retreating, and then the TP comes in late for Duck Dom, and then Peter tries to make the heroic flash play over the Q, and then just misses.
Just misses him.
And then the Tempered Fate stops a follow-up from the Chains of Corruption here for Duck Dom, and it's just a big disaster here for DNS. Like, they just wanted to kill the Aurora, and instead it just ended up being a really, I don't know, cacophony of errors and small misplays, and D+ get a small advantage as a result. I mean, we're still looking at an even gold lead here, but it's the map control that I said you really shouldn't give away. The kill they gave away to the LeBlanc that I'm most concerned about here for DNS. It's not the end of the world, but it could be the beginning of the end of the world, you know, if I'm Chicken Little here.
Yeah.
Sky may be falling.
You are Chicken Little. After all, we have confirmed that. And DNS, they want to make sure they get the second Drake. I think now, you know, Luden's just finished up for Showmaker. He's already getting pretty scary, especially laning against Dudu's Renekton, who can't do anything, right? Like, that's good laning setup here from the side of D+Kia, especially around this Drake, which they would love to get this Infernal.
Lucid's on a flank.
Yeah.
This is really frustrating for DNS because they don't have any control.
Okay, they're just going on in. They're going to try to catch Duck Dom here.
A little bit early, though.
Do, I guess. Going in onto Lucid now, but he is Lee Sin. And we are really sending it. This time they're going to use everything and try to kill the Lee Sin. I'm not even sure they can, although Lucid kind of runs out of dashes. And he will eventually go down.
I'm not sure what Odin told DNS about Lucid, but they really don't like him today.
The whole day. Especially the Xin Zhao game was just ridiculous. Closer, going to be rooted up basically forever. Lots of pick in this DK composition. But they're not going to... thinking about trying to go for Closer here. A little bit of ticking damage there on the backside, but it's actually a Chemtech Soul.
Overall, ends up being pretty nice here for DNS. They get the kill onto the Lee Sin eventually. They do enough damage to secure the dragon, and then they escape with Closer despite his lack of flash. And then suddenly, Dudu gets a free turret. And Dudu has evened up the CS. He was very significantly behind in the early game, now has a tiny lead here in this one. And to talk about how it all breaks out, it's very weird because this is very early here from career as she was trying to get in but cannot actually get onto Duckdom because Duckdom was pushing with his team towards Showmaker. Then Peter decides, okay, we're going for the Lee Sin. Duda follows up with his W, gets the stun. Lucid does not have sums. He gets taken out. His mobility is gone. They get the Dragon. They get the turret. Well, actually, it looks like he has one plate left. Dudu nearly gets the turret, but a lot of money there on the bottom side. And so DNS, precarious lead. Is that, can I say that? Precarious lead.
You can say that.
Yeah, it's a
whether it makes sense
lead.
or not, I don't know.
It's a lead that you can quantify, but you don't really trust.
Yeah. It feels a little bit dangerous, you know. You just,
you know, when that
getting bullied now.
You know when that guy Alex, I don't know what his last name is, climbed the Taipei building. He recently. So what was it?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I think it starts with H. Honnold?
Something like that.
Honnold.
He climbed the building, and you're happy for him, but you're like, all right, now get down. That's kind of how I feel about DNS right now.
Very precarious building climb.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, look, you guys accomplished that team fight. It was a little bit messy. You got the kill, you got the dragon, but let's play safe.
I mean, I like how they're actually upping the tempo. Their turn is absolutely bonkers. Now, DK, they have a lot of ways to get away from the turn, but, you know, it's been a little bit scary, especially with DNS just kind of losing their mind on every engage. They're throwing everything in the chicken sink. Chicken sink? thinking about Chicken Little still. It's like still there on the prompter a little bit.
Peter had flash and ult and cleanse also to close the gap on anybody trying to go through the banana brush there to contest. Plus the Wukong follow-up would have been real. I think D+ made the right call to back away and allow the Herald to go over. There's only one plate of turret left in the bottom side for Dudu. If he can get a wave stacked up there, doesn't like he's going to be able to get it here. It's healthy enough. But the mid lane is where the Herald should be dropped when we get closer to Dragon time. Still 5 plates available there. And this Jhin, 0-0 and 1, has a lot of win cons to be potentially set up here if D+ can get back that map control, but they weren't able to hold on to it. Shiu is actually going to get engaged on.
He has flash, but the stuns are coming through. You can see that they're playing for it. The flash comes out, and Shiu just barely going to die to the Cyclone. Dudu tanking up the turret perfectly in a nice little set play. They get the Aurora in the side lane. DNS making plays here in this mid game.
And now with 2 minutes until the Dragon, this means they get the bottom turret. And now they can Herald through mid. They'll still have their Cyclone back up. They're going to be very set to look for a fight over Soul Point here, which honestly is a really decent Soul for their composition here, the Chemtech Soul.
Yeah, it's actually excellent. It'll cut down a lot of the damage, like the execution power of LeBlanc Lee Sin as well, and Aurora. But nice little set here.
This time, they just don't mess around with the chase. They're like, okay, get the stun, and then head to the other side. Because if he goes right, we catch him eventually. If he goes left, we're going to be ready for it. Kill goes over to Pyoshik, and they grab the turret.
Yeah, pretty nicely done. It was cool to watch Dudu as well play around the outside of the vision. Like he pretended he backed, went back into the brushes, and Shiu just essentially missed it.
He didn't expect it.
Yeah, he did react immediately, but, you know, there's only so much he could do once he gets jumped there. So now this Aurora that got flexed into the top lane. It started off good, but, you know, not necessarily having the value they were hoping for, potentially.
Also, Dudu is about to have flash advantage in this side lane as well, so there's some playmaking ability, actually. And Pyoshik has his ult back up. He's wrapping around once again. I think the real prize here is going to be this Dragon. They can hit this Crystalline Overgrowth, which they cannot. The Herald is an even bigger threat if they drop it for Drake Pryo. Lucid just going to hang out, wait for his teammates to rejoin. Shia will have his ult up. This could be a game-deciding fight if DNS win it cleanly and grab this Soul Point. For D+, you really have to deal with a lot. You're juggling a lot, and you don't have the map control to look for a LeBlanc flank. Showmaker just kind of has to cut straight through the center here and look for damage onto anyone who gets caught, any single target he can find. There's no Edge of Night for Duckdom. Yeah. He is the primary target, to put it plainly.
Yeah, he definitely is, especially with starting off the Hollow Radiance here for closer. Not going to be easy for Showmaker to chunk out the Galio. Although Lucid could do a number to him.
They do get the prio away here, and I think that Herald needs to be considered to be dropped by Pyoshi. It looks like he wants to team fight Herald instead. Showmaker.
Little Kanavi action. And Showmaker's going to get away, but any time where Showmaker's not getting big chunks on the squishy targets just means the LeBlanc isn't getting a huge amount of value before the fight begins.
Playing through this banana brush control really well, too. Showmaker just cannot get access anymore. She was going to clear this wave, which means he can rejoin. Dudu probably going to take his ult up pretty soon. Peter also with flash and ult, just denying any entry here on the left side.
Yeah.
Showmaker's out.
Just playing it slow. Is DNS waiting for DK to go in? Look at Shiu, he's already basically dead. Has to ult away. Showmaker also half health. And the Renekton just standing there menacingly makes DK have to run away. They want to get some more here as Career just going to flash out of this one. The chains will land on a Peter, but he will absolutely take that trade.
Yeah, Peter's very happy with this. Grabbing another flash from Career. He's just been robbing him all game long. And they get the Dragon, I don't want to say for free, because they earned it through a slow, methodical deny of the entry from Showmaker, as this is a miss.
Nice try, actually. The kick is going to land on a Duckdom, but the Sonic Wave is not, as Duckdom still holding onto his flash. Lucid alone in the back line, nobody able to help him. As the TP does come in, at least DK got that away from DNS. But DNS going to have the Rift Herald as well. You mentioned he was holding on to that, and just looking to take out the mid-tier 1.
They really held that Herald forever, but they get so much out of it after getting the Dragon. I gotta give credit to Smash. He hits the root as the kick finishes. Like, he does his job. He's ready for that. But as you mentioned, Lucid's Sonic Wave doesn't hit. They needed that to get the follow-up, to have that extra damage.
Did they just get Baron?
I think so. Unless Showmaker can make something happen here with Flash and ult on the Duckdom, who still has his Flash. He's playing to the backside of Baron, though. And as Chronicler will often tell you, it doesn't do good things for your MR.
Yeah, you can see the Jhin going to open up the curtains here. She was being zoned away, but the Jhin alone is not going to be able to steal this Baron. As the smite comes through, Dudu might have to pay for it. As the Galio looking to help him out. And we have the backs already coming in.
Duckdom almost has his TP back. They could actually really turn this if D+ overextend.
You can see that they're actually considering something, but I think now Close are getting kicked out. Might not be enough. The re-engage kind of half-hearted here from the set of DNS. Shiu might be a little bit of a bonus kill, although Shiu is gifted the shutdown onto Peter. And now we have the golden onto Duckdom, who is just looking to aim the long-range missile. Not going to hit there.
Oof, for DNS, that feels painful. They were really trying to play around that Varus TP back in. You could really feel that. But it was just a few seconds too late. Still, they secure the Baron. It's not all nothing for them, as this is a kick into Oops. The root hits from Smash as well. Just, you feel Career's also on it. You're like, one missed opportunity there. And then we grab the Herald, crash in, Crystalline Overgrowth. And Duckdom just stays here. He's like, all right, you guys are going to tank it up for me. We need my damage to do the Baron to secure this, which is realistic. They do get it. And then we see the empowered recall. He's not interrupted.
Very close.
Very close. And now they're like, okay, your TP's up in like 11 seconds? Let's try to slow play this and see if we can get something out of it, because Dudu also needs his health back. And look at how low everyone on D+ is. When he shows up, when his TP is finally unlocked, he can get back in here. D+ are just, they're aware of it, right? They're playing slow, they're playing away from it. Shiu also has this sick play here. Gets over the wall. Pyoshik has to flash to follow, so he gets a ton of space bought there into the Wukong. And the final shot from Duckdom does not quite connect onto Career. I still think DNS are in a good position, but I think they were so close to actually practically hard winning the game at that moment. Just things did not line up. D+ had a good defensive play there post-Baron.
Yeah. Well, Pyoshik feels like the first time Showmaker has really found a target and done his combo to someone. But it's Wukong who has his Gromp up and the Rift Scuttler, so not really going to be very high value, but got to continue to do that if you are a Showmaker and you want to have some sort of impact in this game with his 2 items. But you can see that DNS playing heavily around this Drake that's coming up. They're not trying to go for any big Baron pushes this early on in the game. They got the mid-tier 1, and that's about it. Just a small Baron power play. But decent vision around this objective for D+ Kia. They have 3 wards, 4 wards in the group down there.
50 seconds between this Soul and the potential defense here for D+. Baron is gone. We look at the items around the map, you know, 80 carries on item parity, very close there. It's really the Wukong that has a big item advantage. And the Renekton, I suppose, as well, having that extra component in his inventory, but it's not really anything to write home about. It's just that D+ seemingly cannot get Showmaker into a position to kill Duckdom. Like, Duckdom has died once this game, but he's just so inherently safe. They have the Mikhails for him, and the longer it takes him to find targets, the more poke damage he gets done.
At least he doesn't have flash.
That's true.
There's a lot of flashes down here on the side of DNS. Really only Peter has his.
And DNS can bail from this if they don't like what it looks like, but I don't think they're going to with the positioning of Dudu right now with the TP flank. He is wrapping around. They see him, but this is really going to mess up the setup for D+. They're going to have to collapse, and they're going to have to collapse quickly.
Yeah, trying to get on top of this Renekton. No easy feat with the Galio coming in. They're going to find... It looks like Smash over there, or no, it's actually Showmaker in a lot of trouble, and they're just able to CC chain him. And that's going to be the end of the LeBlanc, and maybe just Chemtech Soul over here for DNS.
Career tried his best to try to save him, but now he doesn't have his ultimate either in a 4v5.
Well, now Career's trying to engage. You can feel the desperation here for D+Kia. The curtain's about to end on this 4th shot.
Shiu is the only one who really has agency here, and he's just zoned away.
Well, Lucid tries to go on in. It's just going to be a flip, but the smite is good to Pilshik, and they get the kill onto Lucid. As the Wagwa comes through, and Shiu is just dead as well. D+Kia, this difficult composition is looking very difficult to play, especially from this far behind. And DNS just kind of press all their buttons together and do stuff like that. They take out Career, who didn't have his flash. And now with Chemtech Soul, this game is looking all but theirs.
Unfortunately for Career, I don't know if he's ever really had his flash this game. As Smash is going to be the next target here as they siege the turret a little bit too far. A bit of a step over the line.
He's getting excited, you know. He's testing his limits a little bit.
Well, I gotta say, that flank from Dudu was pretty massive. That was what forced D+ to kind of try to kite back and get the collapse onto him, but he's Renekton, he's difficult to kill. But Showmaker is caught, you know. He was the one trying to set up his own flank, his own aggressive position. He loses that. And he's looking for an aggressive position here as well, a level down on closer, with some friends coming over.
I don't think this TP from Duckdom... Okay, they're actually full... Okay. Well,
sometimes you send it.
I guess the TP from Duckdom was actually perfect. And
if Showmaker's not aware of it, it feels high value.
I guess so. Just, yeah.
So, just like that, and by just like that, I mean like, I don't know, about 8 to 12 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Series on our hands, Valdez, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else DNS have, because this is the kind of scrappy gameplay, playing through Duckers a little bit, you know, trusting Peter's Recon, a classic. They get the Recon Wukong. They got counterpicked with the Renekton, and
it's also
they're looking good anyways.
It's a nice setup dive comp when there's not like 17 tools on the enemy team. No Lulu, no Ezreal, none of this, you know, giga peel comp from the side of D+Kia. It's much more difficult to actually get away from Rakan Wukong, as looks like we're just trying to take the Baron down here. Lots of damage done to Duckdom though, as maybe this is where DNS dropped the ball. It's getting pretty close, but the smite is good, and Lucid is just going to be zoned away. Although the kick does go down onto Peter, and they get that kill. Smash looking for a little bit more.
Time to exit.
Yeah. Pilshik pretending that he was a clone, and might just die. I think he has CA though, and the damage is coming through on Career. I think the wallets are just too heavy for DNS, and D+Kia desperate to get something after the Baron goes away.
Pilshik hitting, by the way, like every close smite that matters in this game. If so many of these went just a little awry, it would not have Chemtech Soul, would not have the Baron, and DNS get the big win here as he outplays as well with a fake clone. And I think, you know, I was kind of maybe slightly preemptively calling it with the series on our hands moments before, but now it really feels there is just no more in. Peter has unsealed teleport to rejoin for the push to win the game. I mean, there's only 14 seconds to respawn timer here, but when this base opens, it guarantees Elder Prio, and if anybody dies during the siege, DNS can just literally end the game right now.
Yeah.
This is effectively the game-ending play.
It's essentially what D plus Kia did in game number
Flank?
1.
Flank?
This is a flank that has
Congo
been
line?
seen for ages and ages, so they knew this was coming. Easy chains of corruption go down on the Lucid as he was trying to send the Hail Mary for the ages, but yeah, with the Baron still for a minute and a half, they could just go ahead and take this top inhibitor down, you would think. As she was trying to be relevant here, but not succeeding at that, as they are going to once again bully Career out and smack D+ in the face with their giant wallets and take them down here in game number 3. Looks like we do have a series on our hands. Better late than never, as DNS, 14,000 gold lead, they will take a Nexus tonight and bring us to a game 4.
And if you're in the Atlas train of thought, 1 game loss means it's a 3-2 for DNS. I'm not ready to cash that check just yet. I'm not ready to trust that much.
Yeah.
But this was a very different look. And like you said, so many of those defensive tools are gone for them to continue to try to play aggressive. Pyosik has such a massive champion pool. We haven't seen the Hecarim. We haven't seen the Fury.
The Rammus.
We haven't seen the Graves.
리신 뚫자 그리고 나 밍카이 앞으로 지를각 나오냐? 리신 이거 도와줘 얘들아 도와줘 오라 높여
억제기 하고 일단 더 보던지.
도와줘 야 오로라 노플인데 이거 천천히 갖고 와봐도
아니 갈리오 텔로 가라. 만화 없어.
진궁 켜지면 봐줘
오케이. 야 물렸다.
난 백.
오히려 볼게.
더봐 진 아래 봐줘 아래 봐줄게 진 노플이야 진 노플
쳐보자. 나진 이거 더 빨리 좀. 아 오케이.
진 볼게
아진 잡았다 이러면.
나이스.
끝내자.
끝내자 라인전이 잘 됐네 나이스야
아 나이스. 갈리오 좋았다.
나이스